Welcome to Tonia's Kitchen, where taste and nutrition go hand in hand. Here is Tonia King.
Joining me today is Kimberly Lee, founder of Prime Roots. Thanks for joining me, Kimberly.
Thanks for having me, Tonia.
So tell me, what is Prime Roots all about?
So at Prime Roots, we're making deli meats that we know and love, more sustainable and healthier. And it just so turns out that we can do that and make it all plant-based. All of our products are made from clean, whole food ingredients, and they taste just like the real thing. And you can find us at the deli counter. So you actually get the meats by the pound and get it sliced any which way you like.
No kidding. It's interesting because a lot of folks that are vegetarians or vegans or just not meat eaters are sometimes a little skeptical about these fake meat products. What makes yours so different?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of folks on the meat eater side and plant-based side of things that have a lot of concerns, and I think they're rightfully placed around plant-based meats because there's a lot of the predominant approaches are really, really processed, long ingredient lists, lots of chemical names. What makes us different premise is we don't do any of that. When I started the company, I really wanted to make something that passed the mom test, but also my mom test, my mom is a chef. And so she has a very discerning palate and really cares about, what goes into the food that she serves at home and in her restaurants. So, wanted to make sure that the products were powered by whole food proteins. Our ingredient list is super short. You can pronounce everything. Everything is something that is a whole food or something that you've already heard of, like common spices. And it took us 5 years to actually develop the product before putting it out into the world because we wanted to make sure that the products would be approved and really fully no compromises for both the meat eater and the vegan or vegetarian that's looking for a healthier, tasty option for their deli meats. So koji is a type of fungi. It's a Japanese fungi. It's one of our main ingredients in our products, and it gives it the really umami taste and texture. And koji is found in miso, soy sauce. So most people have already had koji before. It has this great fibrous texture that's very meat-like, and it is a whole food source of protein. So that's really, how we make our meats without using soy and gluten and really processed plant proteins that most companies use when they're making plant-based meats. Yeah, so our product is all fungi based, and koji is one of the main types that we use. And we have a whole blend of different fungi, ingredients. Everything is completely plant-based, and it doesn't taste like mushrooms at all. It actually tastes like the meat that we're trying to, be inspired by. So the turkey is very reminiscent of turkey, and we have multiple flavors of each type of meat. And so, deli meats and sandwiches are the most consumed food in all of America. About 300 million sandwiches are eaten every single day. And so we have all the meat types to make it easy to make those simple swaps that are great for your health, taste buds, and the environment.
Boy, it must have taken a long time to actually get the recipe or the ingredient list to actually work and actually be delicious, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, we could have definitely launched the product much sooner. Like I said, it took 5 years to develop the products because we didn't want to compromise. I mean, if you use really processed plant proteins, they're out there in the market. If you want to add methylcellulose, all these chemicals that make it easier to make these types of products, like we could have definitely cut a lot of corners and gotten to a much quicker product, but that was not what we're here to do. We really want to be able to give people a no compromises solution. And, it's something that takes time, but it's well worth the wait because now we're out in the world and 80% of our customer base actually eats meat. And so we're actually doing what we set out to do, which is really give all eaters a no compromises choice, and be able to drive positive environmental health change for the masses, not just for vegans and vegetarians who are already doing great by their health and the environment.
That's great. Now, Kimberly, were you a meat eater before? Are you a meat eater now? Do you still enjoy meat?
I am a flexitarian, so I typically eat plant-based, just like in my everyday life. But for work, we do when we're sampling products with customers, are always wanting to try products side by side, and so I am here to do what's going to make the biggest impact for our collective environment and for the animals. So my motivation is to scale that impact, however that can be, and for me, that's being able to have a pulse on what makes meat and making sure that we're always pushing the forefront of making sure that we're getting more meat eaters to eat prime roots.
That's great. We are talking with Kimberly Lee, founder of Prime Roots. How do we find you on social media?
So we're at Prime Roots on Instagram, and you can search Prime Roots on all the other social media platforms as well, like Facebook, TikTok, etc. We have lots of great recipe content on our website at primeroots.com, and also our store locators. There you can find where we're found. We're now in about 30 states, but if there is a store that you'd like to see us at, there's a way to request products as well, which really helps us.
Speaking of recipes, do you have any you want to share?
We have tons. So for back to school, we put out a ton of recipes recently. It's a very, very simple recipe, but one of my favorites, and we make this a lot when we go to events. It's just a basic club sandwich. We toast bread on both sides, usually with some plant-based butter, and then we layer it with our turkey, ham. I like the pepper turkey and our Black Forest ham together in the sandwich, and then some crispy bacon. Our bacon, you can have it crispy or chewy. I prefer crispy. Lettuce, tomato, mayo on both sides, and then cut it into the triangles, and it really does fool everybody. And it's so simple because most people have all the ingredients already, and you can also spice it up. Other toppings or other types of mayo or dressings to make it a little bit more different. But I love a classic club because it really lets the meat shine.
It's interesting because you say it fools everybody.
Yeah, and I think everyone's like really pleasantly surprised. Both meat eaters and non-meat eaters. We have a lot of plant-based folks who are like, "Wait, this is meat." And then we have a lot of meat eaters who can't tell. And when they find out, they're like, "Wait, I could, if all the meats tasted like this, I would definitely be vegan or vegetarian." And so, yeah, making a little bit of impact, one sandwich at a time, and like I said, it is the most consumed food in all of America, and it is literally killing us too. Deli meats are full of carcinogens with the nitrates and the preservatives. We don't use any of that. And you've probably seen a lot of the recalls. They're just really dirty. And so we like to say that we make the cleanest cold cuts out there.
Sounds great. Prime Roots, a healthier deli cut alternative. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're talking with Kimberly Lee, founder of Prime Roots. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, Tonia.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll subscribe to this podcast as we continue to take you around the world of food and wine on Tonia's Kitchen.